Today on my channel, we're going to explore the differences of living in a place like Ocean Springs, Mississippi, as compared to the urban life in the state of California. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the cost of living. We're going to talk about the lifestyle. We're going to talk about the difference between the high hustle and bustle go of California as compared to the laid-back lifestyle in Ocean Springs. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a great comparison between living in California and living in Ocean Springs. Hi, if this is the first time to visit my channel, I'm Chester Harvey, and what I do is sell real estate in Ocean Springs. So if you're interested in possibly selling your house in Ocean Springs or buying a property in Ocean Springs, or maybe even putting your house on the market for rental in Ocean Springs, why not subscribe to my channel, touch that notification bell, and stay up on top of what's going on in Ocean Springs. That way you'll be getting a video once or twice a week, giving you different ideas of what's happening in Ocean Springs, different lifestyles, different places to live, and you'll be sitting on the cutting edge of what's going on in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. So let's take a look and compare the difference between Ocean Springs and living in California. Here are 8 good reasons to show you the difference between the two. The number one reason, of course, would be the cost of living. The overall cost of living in Ocean Springs is much lower than the national average. Monthly cost for singles and families tend to be much lower than you'd find in the state of California. Housing is certainly much cheaper. The median home values in California compared to Ocean Springs, just for an example, I had a client that came in the other day from California, and he said that the difference between the house that he bought here as compared to California was at least, to get to the same value of what he had in California, 2 to 3 times less expensive, and also lower cost of just daily expenses, monthly expenses such as groceries, transportation, certainly gas, are much less cheaper than you'd find on the West Coast. Now, why does this really matter? Well, for your dollar, whether you're on a salary or a fixed income, if you're a retiree, your dollar seems to go much further in Ocean Springs as compared to California. That can make a significant difference in your standard of living. You have more disposable income, more money to use for different activities, recreation, and a greater financial freedom as you would find in pockets of California. Number 2, lower taxes overall. In the state of Mississippi, the income tax is only a flat 4.3%, and each year it'll be going down to establish hopefully between 3 and 4%. That is a considerable difference in the whole the income tax structure in the state of California, which I'm told could be as much as 13 to 14%. Property taxes seem to be very low too, because obviously the property values are a lot less than California. And also there is no estate inheritance tax in the state of Mississippi, and certainly, of course, in Ocean Springs as compared to California. Now, why does this matter? Well, taxes are a big part of your expenses, and lower income and property taxes in Mississippi can be such significantly less than California, then your overall cost of living will stay much less compared to California. Number 3, a relaxed, slower paced lifestyle and smaller town feel. Living in Ocean Springs offers a different rhythm, different vibe, a lot slower paced lifestyle, neighbors looking after neighbors, neighbors waving to each other, saying hello, that sort of thing, as compared to maybe a faster paced urban lifestyle you'd have in California. I heard a statement from a customer that the cost of living is so low, I pay less for everything than I did in other states. One customer stated that you can live anywhere in Ocean Springs and you're going to be fine. It doesn't take but 5 or 10 minutes to get any kind of groceries, entertainment, child activity from school. The commute, there is no commute. It's just going around the corner or going a couple of miles to get where you want. Because it's smaller than major California metros, everyday life just tends to be move on a much faster pace, and getting to different locations usually takes a lot more time than it would in a small town like Ocean Springs. Number 4, there's less traffic, easier driving, and simpler commutes. Because Ocean Springs is a much less densely populated area, it lacks any kind of heavy traffic. Now, obviously, we're just like any other place. The morning commute traffic and the afternoon commute traffic can get a little bit more congested, but certainly not with a 8 to 12 lane highway interstate going through town. Freeway. Just nothing is going to be a long drive to get to anywhere. There's much less traffic, less commuting times. Quite frankly, having been in California myself driving on some of those freeways, much less stress in driving. So just remember, it's just such a complete difference between freeway driving, freeway living, having your commute with thousands and thousands of cars, as compared to the layback commute that you would have in a small town like Ocean Springs. Number 5, coastal and mile lifestyle, easier access to nature and outdoor living. Ocean Springs sits on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, offering a coastal lifestyle that is different than you would find, say, on the fast-paced Pacific Coast. Residents enjoy fresh seafood, coastal drives, Gulf of Mexico breezes, and access to any kind of water activity just about you can imagine. Water skiing, canoeing, kayaking, sailing, fishing, deep sea fishing. But you have all this with a less hustle and bustle atmosphere, overcrowding, and much laid back enjoyment of the water. One customer told me after they'd been here a couple of months, "Wow, Justin, you can go down and buy a dozen oysters for $7 or $8. Now, where can you do that in California? And they'll be fresh. They probably wouldn't be 24 hours old coming out of the Gulf." The balance of water, moderate housing prices, moderate pace, easy lifestyle, and affordability is a rare and appealing combination as to the hustle and bustle of high-speed urban life. Cheaper everyday expenses like food, service, and utilities. Because the overall cost of living is so much less in Ocean Springs for such things as groceries, utilities, gas especially, it tends to be much less than living in the state of California. And that's not just lower cost of housing. It's about the full cost to live, eat, drive, maintain a house, and enjoy the house, and enjoy the leisure time that you would have. The cumulative savings that you would have throughout the years as compared to the two places can really add up and add to your retirement enjoyment. Number 7, tax benefits for retirees and simpler tax burdens. For retirees and people on fixed income, the tax structure in Mississippi, with lower income property taxes and no estate inheritance taxes, can translate to much lower financial burdens. And this can especially matter if you are on a fixed income, retirement income, pensions. You can have more money available for you in your pocket to have a comfortable leisure lifestyle. Number 8, the opportunity to have a comfortable lifestyle without needing high income. Because prices of amenities are so much less in Ocean Springs, people in Ocean Springs don't need to have a super high income in order to maintain a very comfortable lifestyle. Whereas in California, yes, you have a great sources of income, great monthly income, but in contrast to that, you have very high expenses that go along with it, so they kind of complement each other. With so many people now working from home and not having had a central place in which to go into work, it really behooves you to possibly look into another town that would suit your lifestyle that you may want by not having to live in this more expensive environment. As summarized in a broad comparison, overall housing, transportation, groceries, child care, entertainment, and other costs tend to be significantly lower in Ocean Springs as compared to the state of California and other states. But now, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about a few caveats that you might want to consider. A lower cost of living can equate to a lower amount of monthly income from your job. There are fewer high-paying jobs as compared to California. However, you can find the jobs here, but if you do find those high-paying jobs here, remember that your lifestyle is so much lower cost of living. And since you're in a smaller town, you may feel like you would have a lot less opportunity for some different services that you would find in California, and that is probably true. However, if there is something especially that's not offered in a small town like Ocean Springs, you are so close to a different activity, or say beaches or something that maybe be more appealing to you. You're so close, you could get there in 30 to 45 minutes if it's not offered here in Ocean Springs. While you could be in New Orleans in just a little over an hour to the west, or you could go to more beaches or different types of beaches in South Alabama or the Panhandle of Florida, also within a little over an hour, going to the east, and all in between other places that are available for different services and entertainment and such. Comparatively speaking, just to go for a few miles in California, it may take you the same amount of time it would to drive over to New Orleans. Now, the weather is something that you've got to consider here. Yes, we do have tropical storms sometimes and occasional hurricanes, and you would have to consider that with your property insurance where you particularly live within the city. But now, comparatively speaking, just like anywhere else, we do not have snowstorms or avalanches or really the fires that you see in California. So it does balance out. But you do have to consider your insurance, your property insurance, when you do move to Ocean Springs. And what you would need to do is be sure that you're involved with a good real estate agent who can set you in the right direction as to where you live to get a good source of property insurance. So now you've seen the differences in California living and Ocean Springs living. It's a complete different lifestyle. It would be something that you may very well want to consider. So if you'd like more information about living in Ocean Springs and want to be on the cutting edge of new things that are happening in Ocean Springs, why not shoot me a text, drop me a line, or better yet, let's arrange a Zoom call so you and I can talk face to face, meet each other. You can tell me exactly what you're looking for, and I can help tailor exactly what that is to help you make a smooth move to Ocean Springs. Welcome home.